Well, that was strange, but hey, everybody, welcome to the 6 Minute Daily. Good morning to each and every one of you. Want to say good morning to Just a Dutchie. Great to see you. And of course, Juliet from across the pond. I hope everything is going well. Interestingly enough, one of the things we may cover in a little bonus time is the sudden loss of a bunch of AFD candidates in Germany in just the last few days. They definitely, I'm sorry, that's not a coincidence when you lose that many people, are being targeted by the globalists and their friends. And that's just absolutely disgusting. They definitely are feared because of their rise to power and their plan to immediately remove all of the asylum folks that, is all bologna sausage and everything else. So watch that dial, kids. That's going to be a story for weeks. We've got Jill here. Good morning to you. We've got our favorite polar bear, Snortopoopas Q Burr, and a few other folks sliding in, which I appreciate. We've got Ms. Pick Cafe doing double duty. So is Jill, and many more. We got Morgan in the house. What's up, Morgan? Hope you're doing well, buddy. And everything's going well up there in the Great White North. We got Putin's cat saying Bayless and Fox settle lawsuit by hairdresser. Not with each other. That's true. An indecent proposal situation for sure. And Skip's an interesting guy. Not somebody I look up to. Let's put it that way. Very candidly. We got Griffin out there on September 3rd. Of 1935, racer Malcolm Campbell drove a test car Bluebird to 301.129 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, becoming the first automobile to exceed 300 miles per hour. You know, they do that regularly, and I've been following an electric car that's capable of doing that. So we'll see what happens with the results of that one. Putin, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see who else is out there. And thank you, Griffin, for that day in history. I love those. We got more and more folks out there. Just like Crazy White Boy, I see over on the green machine, along with, as I said, Ms. Pick Cafe, Caveat Ties, and Low Spec. Oops, I burped. Linux Gaming. Hey, that's coffee for you. What else do we got? We got lots of else. We got Cynthia Carter out there. Very good morning to you, dear. And a few other folks that'll roll through the door as we progress. We're closing in on the 6-Minute Daily. So hats off to you who were here early. D-Bud Martin is out there wrenching away. We've got, the one and only Leif Erikson in the house. Jonathan Conroy, I've been missing you, my friend. Great to see you. Did you guys see this morning's videos? I guess it's a video. I got another one coming later. And next week, we're going to try to ramp up to 3 videos a day. Get back to that pacing. That should be fun. Davina, very good morning to you. Thanks for being here. And Donovan Bradford. Hope everything is going well. Real quick shout out and thank you to Tony Piacente for 5 CultureCasino memberships, and to Timmy Hayes for 40 months of membership. Hail all, and good morning. Speaking of good mornings, it's going to be a good week for The Conjuring Last Rites. They think they're going to open with 80 million globally. If it does that, that'll be impressive. Anthony and Nancy both in on this one for Deadline. That's going to be some enormous numbers. Usually, horror films don't score the same kind of money that they do here in the States. So I'm curious how much of this is the American earnings. Guess we'll find out. We're also going to find out with this old-fashioned logo that Warner Music is restructuring Atlantic and Warner Records UK labels to report to U.S. management and also to the Zaslav part of the structure. We've got Fox CBS may want in on local TV buying spree. That's right. Nexstar and Tegna are gobbling up as many stations as they can. Well, I think the writing's on the wall that locals are a place for the future. And it's probably the only way that any of these networks will have influence ever again. So might as well buy them. Speaking of buying things, well, looks like Skip, Bayless, and Fox bought off a hairdresser in order to settle a battery and retaliation suit, saying that the ex-undisputed host offered hairstylist $1.5 million for services rendered, let's say. Well, that got all swept under the carpet with a big pile of money. And that's a very expensive, indecent proposal, as Putin insinuated earlier. Disney's going to have to pay $10 million for collecting children's data on YouTube. I think everybody should be a little bit outraged that you can get away with this for $10 million. By the way, does Disney seem like a good company anymore? No, they don't. They're trying to perpetrate a crime by inserting a bunch of terrible stuff into your kids' heads. Not to mention the fact that they're willing to buy off, the government in this case. $10 million is the tune of it. I'm telling you right now, Disney's no longer a good, moral family company. And they haven't been probably since Iger took over. Walmart wants to challenge Amazon as a streaming aggregator. So they're adding Peacock as a video partner. And you know what's dumb of them? Getting back into this business after they sold off Vudu to Fandango. Worst move ever. Revelation. Dr. Phil starts settlement talks with Christian TV Network. $500 million battle with Trinity Broadcasting in his case. I'm not sure why or how this even happened or why we should care, except that it's going to hurt one of the voices out there that people seem to pay attention to, and Dr. Phil. You got 28 years later. That's the Bone Temple trailer. Ralph Fiennes returns in the Zombie sequel. And, who directs this? Is it that Nia DaCosta lady? I think it might be. This might be The Big Loser. But it seems like anything she directs is a disaster. This will be written and produced by Alex Garland. And where's the director? Are we trying to hide that? I wonder why. Anyway, moving on and booking through the rest of the stream. Samuel L. Jackson is going to be joining Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King Season 3. You get to see that in the trailer. I'm very much looking forward to this season. We've got Google in a position where they don't have to sell Chrome. Must have been a very kind neo-Marxist judge that allowed them to keep it, but they have to share data with rivals to resolve monopoly case. I think they need to not sell data. We're tired of everybody selling our data. We don't want them to keep our data. We do want Wall Street to have a good day. It's steadying itself as Alphabet pulls tech stocks higher. And this morning I was looking at the markets as they were rolling up, which always makes me happy. There are always bumps in the market, especially at the beginning of the day, but in the rolling ticker I just looked at, we were up. It is what it is. Moving on. Not sure where we are. Let's see. Right here. We've got Trinidad and Tobago leader praising the strike that took out a drug boat. You probably have seen the news. Pretty wonderful kinetic strike that took care of the drugs and the people pushing them. That's always good. Appeals court backs EPA action terminating billions in green bank grants because, corruption is flowing freely, especially in banks now. We're back to banking challenges, kids. We're also back to activist investors taking stakes in companies they're looking to guide to more profitable ends. That's right, Pepsi Cola has an activist investor take a $4 billion stake in PepsiCo. Hey, let's put sugar back in the drink and take out the addictive chemical bologna sausage that it makes everybody fat. High fructose corn syrup. We've got Social Security whistleblower who claims Doge mishandled American sensitive data is resigning. I wonder why they would resign. Okay, well, we have Oregon joining Hawaii in mandating pay-per-mile fees for EV owners. That's right. You go to EV, you cancel gas, they cancel you and charge you more. Don't switch to EVs if this seems to be the outcome. Seems like a bad plan for you if you do. Tucson neighbors on alert because a lot of bear sightings in Tucson. The desert community usually has a few bears, but not the number that they're seeing down there now. So just be aware. Bears are everywhere. So be bear aware. That's right, friends. 6 Minute Daily is actually over. But that doesn't mean the show's over, because we have to say a very large thank you to our friend Just a Dutchie for $5. Culture Casino memberships. I want to say thank you. I want to say y'all are the best. And Just a Dutchy, Tony Piacente, I'm telling you right now, you are amazing. All right, folks. You know what? Just because we can, I say we drop a little cheddar for everybody. What do you say? Let's go.
Oh, man, that's some sweet cheddar.
That's right.
Guys.
That is some sweet cheddar. We like cheddar. I want to say thanks again. What a day today. My goodness, all kinds of news, lots of bad news. If you're in Germany, there are forces working against you, and they are trying to keep the globalist grand dream of stuffing multiculturalism into countries to undermine them like crazy. And that's what's been happening. And the pushback you're starting to see in Australia, in the UK, in uh, many countries, including Japan. Germany is their take on things is we just figured out that this was very bad for us. Yes, yes, it is. I want to say hi to the beautiful people who showed up late, and of course Tobach, who's hanging out over on the Green Machine. For those of you watching on the tube, thank you, and on X, hey, you can chat here as well. But the AFD has lost multiple candidates at this point. A series of candidate deaths that is likely very not just fishy, but certainly targeted. And they are trying to keep these candidates out of the local vote. If they have similar laws that we do in many of the states, perhaps electing those candidates despite their demise will still get you a candidate of the same belief system and party. Um, you've got 6 candidates for Germany's AfD that have died in recent weeks ahead of local elections. Obviously, we know why. We also probably suspect who did it, and that's a real problem. Normally, I don't deal in conjecture when it comes to news, but I think everybody here's relatively awake, right? Why would you disappear or remove candidates? You got to ask yourself that question. Y'all are y'all know the answer. Let's just put it that way. Oh man, U.S. job openings have slipped in July. I wait a minute. I thought when we removed the population of illegal aliens that we would have a lot of open jobs that Americans wouldn't want to do. Am I wrong there? Am I wrong? I don't think I am wrong. I think that's what they were saying. It doesn't seem to be the case. By the way, there are a lot of fake job openings with companies. Um, the ones that you could apply for all day and nobody will ever get. That's true. Um, there's some really bad things. There's some really bad things that are being enabled by the globalists around the globe, and we are tired of it. By the way, um, the Bitcoin company that the certain folks were complaining about that had some involvement from the Trump family. Well, that family started trading on the Nasdaq this morning, so there. We'll have to see the outcome of that. Nothing is better when you allow for the invasion of your country. Germany's economy is collapsing at a faster rate than predicted. As I all updated you early in the week, they're all shrinking. Germany's shrinking by 0.3%, much higher than predicted in the previous quarter. And there was a exploit that was finally patched by WhatsApp, allowing hackers to target Apple users. So if you had WhatsApp installed on your Apple phone, Apple made it quite easy for you to be vulnerable to hackers via WhatsApp. So a combination of responsibility there. What do you think will happen? Anything? Something? I don't know. Usually nothing. Have you noticed that a lot of people who were responsible for a lot of things, and you can directly trace them to some kind of fraud via Doge or something like that, none of them have been arrested or, even charged with crimes? That's surprising. That's pretty wild. On the theme park side of things, or not technically theme park, on the Disney side of things, let's say, that park place is making an interesting report right now about deadlines, something that we glossed over in our 6 minute daily, but I think maybe it's worth a conversation here, as deadline seems to tell the audience to shut up. In fact, let's take a look at the article, shall we? Deadline tells audience to shut up about Marvel crashing and burning at the summer box office. Well, they did. They did. In fact, all three of the Marvel films released this year were failures, flops, disasters. The worst of which would be Thunderbolts, and so that's why they're forcing Yelena, as I reported yesterday in a video or day before. I don't know. I've been releasing a ton of videos, but as I reported, Yelena is going to join Spider-Man. That's nobody wants that. Nobody wants what they're going to give us in Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. By the way, is anybody looking forward to this Avengers movie? Remember how they used to be a big deal? They aren't anymore. But Marvin kind of put this article together on the 3rd, so, let's take a look at it because today's the 3rd. But Marvel is crashing and burning at the summer box office in a way I haven't seen in a long time. Thunderbolts is the second worst Marvel film as far as earnings. And have you noticed that it seems to be the ladies' movies that are crashing? The Marvels, the Thunderbolts. Anything where they center females have the lowest earnings? That's very strange. The only guess opposite of that would be Captain Marvel, but that was subterfuge on Kevin Feige's part to justify, going gynocentric. Um, doesn't work. Having one proof of concept doesn't work. I think that, if people are diligent enough for long enough, they'll find that perhaps Captain Marvel was actually a little bit padded by company money via giving away tickets as promotion. Hollywood promised that the summer of 2025 would be the big comeback. I thought, yeah, it was survive until 25, wasn't it? Bob Iger told Wall Street earlier this year that Marvel and Disney's film slate would be the strongest since 2019. That's a lie. Um, the film slate was terrible. Uh, the only reason that they probably have any positive money at all was because of Lilo and Stitch, and that's questionable now because you can't have four flops that strip your company of, well, reputation, value, and box office clout like they did. Snow White was a complete disaster, losing probably easily $300 million. We'll be able to confirm that in just a few months because we'll have the actual budget spent. Kind of excited for that and for the amount of money that they spent on anything else shot in the UK because we have direct access to the budget. You're not going to be able to, just shrug off 300 million, let alone what they definitely lost with Captain Anti-America, Thunderdolts, and what they are definitely losing on Fantastic Four. Whether or not Disney wants to be honest about it, which they don't, you imagine what investors would do if they found out what the actual budget was for Fantastic Four, especially with the last minute emergency reshoots and all the CGI costs that went along with that. I mean, that was not cheap. It was not cheap to fix the end because the reception to the what do you call it? Extra credit scenes or the end credit scenes. Um, were so much of a turnoff. Look, uh, there was no chance at a $4 billion summer. I pointed that out at the beginning of the summer. I was right at the end of the summer. And the person that surprised me was Paul. I got to talk to him. There must have been something that he was led to believe that made him think we were going to have 4.1 or 4.2 billion in summer box office. And I'm talking about Paul Dergarabedian, not Paul Chatto. Paul's usually right and also funny while he doesn't. But 3.7 billion isn't enough. 3.6, 3.7, not enough. And yeah, this was not the summer of 2018 or 2019. So their big bet fell flat, which was dumb. Never bet on Pedro Pascal. He does not open movies. He's a character actor you paid too much attention to. Anyway, let's get back to what you guys have to say because you are amazing. I think I said thank you to Angela Richter, who gifted a Culture Casino gifty of a membership, which I much appreciate. Thank you, Angela. And we got another member chat from our great friend Dean Krantz saying, time for the Teutonic Knights to liberate them. Oh, I agree. I agree. Regardless, Marvel's a disaster and everybody's making apologies for them. I have a video coming out tomorrow to this end, and a couple others that fall along the same line. Most of the news this week that I'll be releasing is going or has been about superhero films and the direction they're heading, which isn't positive, kids. It's very negative. The Spider-Man video that I dropped is well, telling you they're not changing directions. The idiot known as Kevin Feige is accelerating into the direction, the destruction, and in a direction that will, well, further divide audiences. What's interesting is not only is the male audience falling off faster than you could imagine, so is the female audience. Ladies don't want to see things that are just ridiculous. Believe it or not, despite what you see on the internet, most ladies are not that delusional. So, yeah. But Deadline's defense is so shut up. So shut up. Yeah. $500 million worldwide is the biggest grossing ever for that franchise. They're talking about Fantastic Four, which is not a franchise. It's one group in a franchise. Not good. The overall franchise would be Marvel, right? That's what Iger bought was Marvel. And then he had to go and buy Marvel again because he had to acquire Fox, which he did for Hulu and a bunch of other things, so he could clean up some of the mistakes he made over the years. But $74 billion is really not a price tag you should pay. I think you would all agree. Anyway, thank you, Dean. Thank you to everybody who kicked in. We appreciate you. 11 subscribers. I love it. I love it. By the way, to the new members, if you go back, you should be able to watch last night's watch party. If you look at the community tab, I put that out there for all members to enjoy. We watched a great film. Some of you might be familiar with it. Big Trouble in Little China. All right, let's see what you guys have to say because you are everything that drives the show and the channel. So I want to say thank you. All right, let's see what we got. What we got? Who's out there? A lot of you. I'm scrolling, trying to catch up with everybody. Man, I'm 22 minutes behind. Let's scroll. If I missed you this morning, it wasn't on purpose. There was a lot of information. Hey, the Glanconer is in the houses. Everybody. Over 0 years old, got zero stuff. That's right. Not really zero classics, zero cult classics. That's true. Just old people reminiscing about Star Wars 24/7 and a thingy about tight costumes. Well, there you go. There's nothing out there anymore. There's nothing classic or timeless. We've had this conversation extensively here. Name for me a movie that came out in 2025. We're 9 months in now. That you would go and see again, or you wish you saw again in theaters. Name for me a movie that you're dying to see again that came out this year. I think you'd be hard pressed. I know I am. I saw some films I thought were okay, but I didn't see a lot of films that I'd want to see again. I had to see a couple of films more than one time, but that was out of the necessity of, having all the nuances I could express myself in. what was going on with it, why, and the many reasons why it may not have been appealing to an audience. I can you guys name a film? I can't. I can name wonderful people like Tender Warriors 68. Thanks for being here. I can name Read by Nature, who has an idea for a female led Disney movie that would appeal to a wider audience. Brave 2, uh, Dundonian Boogaloo. Had to read the second part. All right. But I think Brave 2 would be wonderful. First of all, be the first redheaded character with shapes and long curly hair that Disney's done. Again, Disney hates redheads. It's true. Sorry, but it's true. That's probably why we're not going to get Black Widow ever again, because she did dye her hair red. Our good friend Dean Krantz out there for 10 Culture Casino Cash says, first, I am a comic book fan. Me too. Old comic books, nothing new. New stuff is garbage. But yeah, so when they made some small changes, I was okay with that. But now they tell me it's our story and you are not welcome. So I watch Primitive War and take my money there. You know what? A lot of people did. Everybody seems to be raving about this movie. I have not had a chance to see it, but I hear it's a B film classic already, right out the gate. So thank you for the $10 donation, my friend. Much appreciated. Crazy, crazy stuff. That's right. Here at the Ministries of Culture, we say thank you for uh, gifties of all kinds, including maybe that's a tithing. I don't know, but I feel like it's a donation. So thank you for contributing to Culture Casino Ministries. Tony Piacente for 5 Culture Casino Cash. Thank you, my friend. Says I saw Nobody 2 last week, and there was not one trailer out of the show that interested me in the least. Can I say I understand that sentiment? I haven't seen any good trailers. Have you guys? I don't know. I know that Snarky. What's up, Snark? Snarky rolls in, makes a rude sound, gives us money. Thank you for the $5 Culture Ministries donation or Culture Cash, whichever you prefer. Bit of family health scare. Oh no. Showing improvement, grateful. Um, okay. Wow. I really hope, Snarky, that it improves rapidly and is in good shape. You're very vague, but you have my prayers, my friend. That's not good. That's not good. Family health scares are no bueno. I've been dealing with one for the better part of 2 years. Excuse me, 2 years now with a family member that I'm not ready to lose. Let's say. So I understand that, but prayers with you, my friend, and your family. Um, Davina's probably right here, saying the problem is that these properties are owned by giant corporations, indeed. And I think that's what happened to comics. Comics all got gobbled up, and the minute they rolled into Disney and out of Ike's careful, watchful eye, we were doomed. True story. Want to say thank you again to the very generous Tender Warrior 68, Rewards Club member for a long, long time, gifting 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. That is incredibly generous, and I really, really am glad that you did that. We are a team supported channel here. You are the team, I am the channel, and we together are amazing. We do wonderful things here. We do wonderful things for other people that you guys don't know yet, but and I, I you probably will never know. But you also buy me new lights. In fact, I'll be replacing 1, 2, 3 lights with 2 better lights, which will be great. First of all, these cost a lot of money to run because they are not the LED style, and they generate a lot of heat. I will be getting rid of heat. The one behind me that lights the green screen that's behind me, the key, excuse me, the keying screen that's behind me, um, doesn't generate much heat at all and uses very little power. So, major upgrades in the studio this coming week. So, very excited about that. Love does hurt. Indeed. And you know, Putin's cat loves me because of the tweet from yesterday. It's an amazing video I retweeted out there. It's very fun. Not sure I appreciate being naked, but it is what it is. Uh, Weatherman, are you out there in the world? I think you are. And I think I didn't acknowledge something important. Yesterday, Weatherman gifted 2 Culture Casino memberships. I just wanted to say thank you for that. Evil Ramen's like, a movie I'm dying to see again? None. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Weatherman, I hope your head's good, my friend. You took your niece to school. She missed the bus. Well, you're a good uncle. See, that's what uncles do. Uncles step up, right? Yeah, that's what your job is. Step up. That's right. Hey, Admiral Teague's in the house. We got the lovely Penny. Hey, George is here. Good morning, George Morales II. I got one culture. Jaws 50th anniversary. Yeah, but it wasn't released this year, technically. The 50th year anniversary kicked the pants off of everything that was released this week. There was no new film that hit that beat Jaws. Jaws was in second place, second only to Weapons. And everything was under $12 million in the box office. Do you know how terrible that is? And the fact that the shill media, and I said this, I think, in the on Monday's 6-Minute Daily, the fact that the media is trying to convince you that this last weekend, Labor Day weekend, isn't a big box office weekend is a lie. They peddle in lies. Deadline's peddling in lies, telling you to shut up when adjusted for inflation. I have a feeling that the Fox property versions of Fantastic Four probably will beat this. And 500 million isn't even going to sniff profitability for Fantastic Four first steps. They need to get to over $600 million before I'll even say this may have made money. May have made money because the budget and look, Deadline knows this. This is why they put false garbage up in the on social media, like Culture Crave or some of these other things that pretend to be influential and then get backing from, you know, who knows where. Some kind of puppet account as far as I'm concerned. But they're going to report, the shill stuff. They are 100% shills. They know that if you make the budget back, that's not breaking even. And yet, at times, you'll see shill accounts, even Deadline, trying to claim that, oh, no, they made their money back. No, they really didn't. And stop that. At least when you get something covered by the Forbes, but from the great reporter at Forbes, Caroline Reed, she's telling you the truth because she'll put a sentence in a paragraph, in the same paragraph where she talks about what the movie cost. And she'll also drop not including ads in print or promotion or marketing, whatever term she uses. But at least she's honest, right? We know Disney spends enormous amounts of cash, but yeah, yeah. And I do want to thank again, I'll say it again. Thank you, Tender Warrior 68 for 5 Culture Casino memberships. In fact, you know what? Let's drop a little clippy in here and let's see. We did the cheddar one. What else? We got another one. Oh, thanks.
Words cannot express the gratitude that comes from culture towards you on this day. Or they can, but, it's
Your mom is pretty.
Things you say.
Thanks. I still love those. Oh, I got to get that Punk Waddle one in here. That one's always fun. Late breaking gifties. That's right. Commander, I see you. Oh, that's right. Kung Hu is in the chat. George is here. Look at all these amazing beings. I am so blessed with humans. You guys are incredible. Let's see. Everybody's talking to each other. This is why I love this chat. I have a pink leotard. That's true. That's true. Putting the video is amazing. I saw it in my timeline. I was like, that's funny. That's very funny. Hey, GPS in the house. We got comma going. Look at all these wonderful people. You guys. It's amazing. Wait, hang on. From Jeff Pearson on solar lights are my second power draw under desktop computer. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I was looking at it. Now, somebody explain this to me. Every other light in my house, other than the studio lights, are LEDs. Everyone. There is no incandescent bulbs in my property. Everything's LED. Now, how come my power bill didn't drop? How come my power bill's gone nothing but up? Because we're being built by corporations. Utilities especially. Because, the marginal increase in prices to produce electricity should not yield 15% increase in your bill annually. And that seems to be what's been happening. So, maybe we should talk to the leaders like, I don't know, Donald Trump and others and ask why gas prices haven't fallen despite the price per barrel falling. Why hasn't utility costs dropped specifically? So gas and utility costs should be much, much lower. Why are they not? We perhaps need an investigation and, well, forced compliance into not ripping off your customers. Just so you know. Hey, the Bat Cap is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. If KPDH was in theaters, we would have gone again. This has been my K-pop update. That's true. K-pop Demon Hunters did very, very well in 2 days last weekend, and it displaced everybody else. Tell me again why Netflix doesn't release the guaranteed winners. Don't know. Don't know. Of course, Cynthia says, I'd go see Titanic in theaters again. That thing was a love letter to the ship. The romance was just there to get you around the different parts of her. Well, I'd say Cameron definitely knew a lot about the Titanic and always did. This is a guy that does research before he does things. I think he needs to research what the audience wants, though, because I'm not sure it's Fire and Ash, which comes out at the end of the year. I could be wrong. John, the Beagle Dad in the house. Good to see you. We got 40s Mandalorian here. F1. A lot of people saw F1 again, so I guess that's true. But there just really isn't many. Swift -1's in the house. What's up, Matt G? I know you're very excited about the engagement. Not the engagement of communicating, the engagement of Tay-Tay and that Kelsey guy. If that's a real romance, we'll know. We'll know. Just a Dutchie laughed in at Floral. Man, Floral's a genius. Love that guy. Let's see. We got hey, come again. Is here. Gifting a Culture Casino membership to WJK, I think. Yeah, my glasses are dirty and I don't have a cleaner in here. Oh, well. Hank's here, though. Hank 5. Hello, everybody. Hey, what's up, Hank? Hank's got a cool character look there. Trying to get to everybody that I can. The Glankener, again, says, WAPO and NYT ever been to downtown Rotterdam? No, I don't think so. Rotherham. Of course not, because they're journalists, you see. I kind of feel like we don't have the kind of journalists we had before. Remember the ones that would actually investigate, go look at things, and make decisions based on their actual observations, write pieces based on what was going around at the time, everything else? They don't. There's few, but not many. There's not a lot of Tim Pools out there anymore, because when Tim Pool was just doing journalism, and even with Vice, he was just kind of calling it like he saw it and he was actually seeing it. That's not what happens anymore. That's not good. We got the talented Andy Masterson here with us, and there's Brian and Cindy. Good to see you. Hey, looks like Barry the Music Man showed up. Look at all y'all. Look at all y'all. All y'all. A little southernness for you. Angela's out. Thank you, Angela. You're the best. Take care of yourself, dear. I love that tiger. Hold that tiger. Hold that tiger. Ram Bam 3000 says, don't ask two-tier Kier. He won't even understand the question. No. He told Trump he wasn't that the UK had free speech. Do y'all have free speech? No. What's surprising me is Trump's not calling out all these authoritarians. You want to see real fascism? It's in the UK. It's in Germany. It's in France. And all that fascism is being applied to undermine your society and your culture in the pursuit of global bologna sausage that will destroy society completely and lead to some form of theocracy. And of course, you'll have your leaders and your serfs. That is exactly what they're aiming for, folks. They told you. Keir Starmer's best friend, Klaus Schwab, told you what his goals were. You will have nothing and you'll be happy. No, you'll be starving like every other despot dictatorship that has ever been done, except we're going to be surrounded by little dictators. Guys, we have to stop this. I mean, I'm getting old, so I'll probably, if this happens, I'll be dead early. But some of you will have families that just go on and on into this hellscape that's being basically is turning every country into hellscape in the West. Easily conquerable by China. Canada is like, and I'm sorry for this, my Canadian friends, to describe it this way, but China could walk over you. We could walk over you. Most major players could walk over you. That's not a good place to be. And we shouldn't be looking at our friends going, you'd be better off if we took over parts of you. Or if you joined us willingly. I think Alberta and Saskatchewan, if we would be far better off, and so would they. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm just looking at my friends going, you have these resources and you are being exploited by the carny and the globalist tool bags. You can't even develop your resources because of, neo-Marxist propaganda. Look, they're forcing you to switch to electric cars, and then they're going to tax you on those at a higher rate. Wake up, people. That's bad. It's happening here in the States. Don't let it happen. Well, the electric cars weigh more on the roads, and, we're going to punish you for being green. Thoughtful people are going to look at that and call it out for what it is. Anyway. Hey, Kaladin 910 is in the house, and so is Walter Tomaszewski. I'm in rare form today. By the way, this is why my channel is being throttled by YouTube. And I'm going to say it. I love the Green Machine, but I've been on the Green Machine since very soon after it started, and I got nothing over there. No growth, no promotion. Unless you're a crazy political hyperbolic freak show, you don't get any coverage on the Green Machine. They don't elevate you. They don't. You don't get growth. You don't get recognized. You don't get on the front page. You literally, if you're not doing politics, you know what? This is something Loki talked about this morning on his morning show. I'm not complaining. I know what Rumble is. But Rumble services politics now. That's it. They don't have a real good discovery system. In fact, I'm told none at all. But they're not going to promote anybody. It's starting out this preferred channel thing that they do in the morning to people like me. Okay. And if Rumble just wants to be known for politics, there you go. I mean, I'm actually considering streaming on Kick soon. Because at least there I have a chance to grow. So I just appreciate all your support on YouTube. Perhaps YouTube will realize that with your support, with all of these lovely gifties of memberships and donations to the channel, perhaps they'll recognize and realize that there's actual value here. And of course, they want to exploit their 30%. Rumble's missing it. Rambam 3000 says YouTuber TK History, Tick History, did an open video letter to Keir Starmer right after Southport. He was not kind. Yeah, my open letter to Keir Starmer is he's no better than Pol Pot. Yeah, I'm gonna give him Pol Pot. Enjoy that, you despot tool bag. Anyway. And that's the other problem is the amount of socialism. Oh, well, we should pay for everybody getting healthcare. Okay, well, wait your 94 days to get something done or at least looked at. And while you're there, the doctor will probably recommend you to off yourself. You think I'm kidding? Oh, man, you're going to lose your leg. Yeah, you'd probably be better off not alive anymore. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh, no, it's definitely happening everywhere. But at least here in this country, you're seeing some things being pushed back against. We got to get rid of all this stuff. Tobak wants me to be reincarnated. I don't think that's going to happen. Hey, what's going on? Eros Amorphic in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I was watching Jay early this morning on his new podcast channel, and was thinking about something. I was going to think this through a little bit more, but do you think that I should start a podcast channel and do this show and all my podcasts on that channel, and then just do videos on Culture Casino? What do you think? Because people have suggested I'm confusing the algorithm because I do both on the channel, and that's quite possible. I love doing these shows. I couldn't imagine not doing them on the same channel I do videos on, but that may be the only option. We'll see. I appreciate the support. I can't highlight. I wish I could from our friend Crazy White Boy. But I can always count on Sunder Hammerschlag, Kaladin 910, Brian and Cindy, Davina Duckworth, Admiral T, John the Beagle Dad, Jeff Pearson in any of his forms, D-Bud Martin, Juliet, Ms. Pig Cafe, Commander Ed Straker of Shadow 6, Luke Corolowes, I can never say his name right, and I won't even try. Luke, it's good to see you. And of course, many more like Ram Bam 3000, Mutant Bamhammer, who's just not here today. We've got the Glankener and Erosera Amorphic, and the lovely Jill Powers, who wrenches away every day for so many channels. I thank you, Jill. Dean Krantz, look at all these amazing people I can say I get to see regularly. Of course, I think I mentioned Rambam 3000, but the lovely Penny seems to always be here and everywhere. And even Putin's cat, who apparently gets banned off of other channels. As long as Putin's cat does not attack anybody else in the chat, I don't really care. I want you guys to be able to have a place to talk, like Miss Pick Cafe, who is here wrenching away, doing multiple things at multiple times, and always giving me excellent suggestions. Davina Duckworth. I'm blessed with my only polar bear here. Snortopupus cuber. Read by nature. Look at all these names. My chat is full of regular names. You guys are wonderful people. Dean Krantz. Look at this. Cynthia Carter. We've got Jan Monroe in the house, who's a little late today, but that's okay. And the wonderful Robert, who says super chats aren't working on my end for some reason. Yeah, they've been few and far between here. We've had a few sub gifts from people like Comigan. I'm never gonna get that name the way it's supposed to be, probably. But Tender Warrior 68 with the generosity, Tony Piacente with a lot of generosity, Snarky, who I hope has a family situation that resolves itself in the most positive fashion possible soon. Dean Krantz, of course, Angela Richter, Just a Dutchie, and Tim Hayes, who's been here forever. Istophobos in the house. I wish I saw you more frequently, my friend. You always worry me. Sonder Hammerschlag out there. I know I already said Davina Duckworth. Cyrano! Help! I'm being what? You're being held hostage at work. Oh, I'm sorry. Howdy, y'all. And stay safe. You too, my friend. Yeah, look at these people. I am so blessed each and every day. I am. Jan Monroe is here regularly. Chris Dickerson here for Just the Bears. Just the Bears. Views with Hughes, culture, and news. Great friend, great channel. I'm watching when you don't know when I'm here. That's right. And Views with Hughes is a great channel. You got to check him out. I've done a video or two with him. He's a good dude. Caveat Ties. Look at all of you. Look at this. All of these names, all of these people, all of these contributors. And if I left you off, it wasn't on purpose. It's because you hadn't chatted in a minute. There's Gabby out there. Joseph A is in the house as well. Holy crap, still going. It's a Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We go a little bit longer with some bonus time. Culture. So to catch Bad Guy, I think it would be a funny parody. Sure. And someone has volunteered to be in it. Who? I think what you do is funny, and I appreciate it. So I want to say thank you to the amazing Cyrano. Very generous. $29.60 gifts, 5 Culture Casino memberships. We are on a roll today, kids. More and more people becoming part of the Culturians. And thank you. Thank you. Subscribers, gifties, you guys, welcome. Welcome to everybody. Right, Jill? Let's see. Coma Goen says, I have a bear shirt on now. That's awesome. However, it is a Chicago Bears shirt. It's fine. It's fine. Support the Bears. I mean, the Bears. I mean, you can support the football Bears if you want to, but yeah. Hey, John Kraber. The space jockey in the house. We're blessed to have you on air and all you do. My friend, I am blessed to have all of you out there. I appreciate each and every one of you. You really, I don't know if you may not believe that, but it's very, very true, because Weatherman's here every day, even on days when he shouldn't be, because his head's about to explode. And believe me, I know that feeling, but I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I am definitely not the only channel that's throttled right now. I was looking at my growth rate. I was clicking at about 1,400 a month in growth rate for a little while. That's how I got to 40K. And then once I started approaching 40K, I got throttled. It took me 2 months to move from 39 to 40K. And now I'm at what? Not quite 41. Are you kidding me? But I do owe you something, and this is something I wanted to mention on Friday, but I'll mention it now. I owe you a 40K celebration. So we'll be doing that very soon. I hope you attend. Hopefully sometime next week. All depends on the Amazon. Wow. Words. The Amazon delivery cycle, because I am not paying extra to get something that I need for that particular stream. But I just want to say thank you, Cyrano. Extra special. Co Megan. I hope someday I'm going to get that right. And Tender Warrior, you guys, everybody out there, I really appreciate it. All right, where are we going now? Where do we go from here? Well, we go and raise as much noise and ruckus as we can about the things in the world that are happening that are definitely against the people at large, because that's happening everywhere. Um, you have what's really weird is there's a political party in this country that is supporting crime and criminal activity and don't want the secret exposed that it just takes an effort at policing to stop crime. I'll give you an example that it definitely worked was DC. You have terrible leadership, um, and you have leaders in place that are DEI, did not earn it. They don't have merit. The if you set priorities like that in your company, in your organization, or in your government, you are going to get the lowest common denominator because you didn't hire for merit. Immutables don't matter. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter to a business owner, and I know it doesn't matter to a business owner what shade your skin is, what what your color palette is. It doesn't matter. Your appearance, your professional appearance matters, but your immutables don't. So if you hire the best quality of person, the best quality applicant, the most that has really the most upside, you're going to win. Forced stuff doesn't win. Forced stuff creates a lot of problems. It creates its own sort of little dictator. Somebody who actually probably realizes they don't belong in the position they're in. Somebody who's not informed and don't realize what, common language is in a job. That was put on display in DC, but let's, not get too specific about it. Let's fight back. Askey's here. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hey, Stone Cold Lucky, the man himself. Hey, good morning again, she says to Jill. I'm going to say good morning to Stone Cold Lucky. Great show this morning. On Wednesdays, he does this YouTube talk thing that I always kind of weigh in on for fun, say fun things. Today it was, again, we were talking about platforms and you can't blame the platform for your shortcoming and all of those things, and I said, but Loki, what if I was taller or something like that? And he went on for 5 minutes. It was so great. And, Loki's a tall guy. He's a good guy, one of the best. So we're blessed. And on Wednesdays, he does YouTube talk, and he talks about people on YouTube that are maybe whining more than doing their best, making their best effort. And that's all we can do. And that's why I do what I do. Try to do the best every day. But I love what I do. If you love what you do, no matter the stiff arm you're getting from the platform you're on, you're doing what you love. I love you guys. I love this every morning. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get to go a little extra long for the bonus time. But on Tuesday, Thursday, I love what I do because I get to run you guys over to the next available channel, which is also one that I love. There isn't a moment that I don't enjoy what I'm doing in some way. And I have to say it that way because sometimes I'm reporting on things that are just despicable, terrible, awful. But one of my friends, Stone Cold Loki, and of course my pal Drunk 3PO, help me get awake in the morning and get things done. And the value that's in Stone Cold Loki's morning shows is cannot be overstated. So if you get up earlier than seeing me, take a little quick glance at what he's doing, because again, him and Zero on Mondays, I'm almost always very quietly in the audience, and on Wednesday, if I can weigh in, I do. So You guys mean the world to me. I know I've said that like 4 times today, but it's true. Hey, Randall, this was the Canadian who showed up last night to the watch party. You guys should. If you're a member, please take advantage of that perk. I want to see, more than 15 people watching a movie with us. I want you to weigh in. I want the chat to be going, "Brrr," and at least insult Ian, comics division. That's why he's there, is to get insulted. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Uh, yeah. We got all these good people. Jan, it's so good to see you. I hope everything's going okay. Uh, there's a fad called Office Siren. Imagine somebody thinking it's okay to come to the office and a see-through blouse. Yeah, I follow a lot of these trends. In fact, as we bring back a whole new bunch of reaction videos on Campione Reacts, hopefully, this weekend we'll get a lot of that stuff done. But I've seen that trend. Maybe I'll put that up there. But there's a major disconnect in what is acceptable and what's not. And look, shock value may work for social media. First of all, I'm not going to do that. I don't think hyperbole is a great way to convey a point. But for some people, it works and it builds a following, and congratulations to them. But I'm not normally a shout at the camera guy. So when I'm doing that, it's from the heart, you know? But that trend is terrible. I don't like that idea. I'm gonna wear this pencil skirt. I'm gonna wear this pencil skirt, the feed pro brows, and some nude stockings. And I'm gonna go to the office, and then the HR people are gonna send me home. That's awful. Yeah. Don't make your notoriety that way. Don't look. I'm not approved. I mean, I get it, and I certainly am in support of traditional aesthetics winning the day, like with Sydney Sweeney, who's now under attack again for doing a Jimmy Choo ad. Well, Jimmy Choo chose Sydney Sweeney to be a ballerina in an ad campaign. It's no different than choosing The Rock, now the uh, quarter size granite gravel, in a film about a UFC fighter. I mean, you cast the person for the thing you want to sell because they're going to get the most attention. And you're winning when all they're doing is calling out the things that we've been clamoring for and winning with them. I'm telling you, Jimmy Choo does not regret that. And I don't think Sydney should either. They're only going to make Sydney Sweeney bigger because of something that we all know, the Streisand effect. So guess who's getting additional publicity for their ad, that Jimmy Choo ad? It's not just Sydney Sweeney, it's Jimmy Choo. Just like American Eagle got additional publicity. Thank you to the lefty media. And the funny thing is then you're giving the right side of media something else to cover. Hey, look, the lefty media is having a meltdown. It's like this endless cycle of material that ultimately leads to your loss, your demise. Dumb. If you ignore it, it's better. It's why there's been some people over the years in the chat that I just ignore. The only time I don't ignore people is when they're attacking each other, and I don't stand for that. Which is why the wrenches will give you some warnings, and then you're just gone. But as most people here know, including Putin's cat, I don't ban people. But if you're doing something egregious, especially to another chatter, I don't like it. So just know that. You guys got to respect each other. Everybody has a different opinion. And you know what? In a certain sense, and I won't say this word out loud, but the interconnectedness, I'll use that term. That's the media cycle now. It used to be in news media, I'm going to end on this subject because we got to get over to Midnight's Edge in the morning here in just about 15 minutes or less. I'm not going anywhere now, so don't go anywhere. But the news media used to have a reset cycle, and that's what it was called. Is we reset every 7 or 8 minutes, depending upon the company you're working for or whatever. And when a new story came across the line, the news wire, um, that would be the story that hit if it was of quality and a breaking news kind of a thing. So every 7 or 8 minutes, you'd reset. And it didn't matter if you were television news, or it didn't matter if you were a network, or it didn't matter if you're a 24 hours news cycle show like Headline News. You could count on the same anchor at the same desk saying roughly the same things, not exactly, but the teleprompter was updated about every 8 minutes. During the break, the anchor would be informed of breaking things and media that was being produced and a change in Chiron or something like that. And then you would just keep going, for sometimes for many of them up to 3 hours at a time. Bathroom breaks were short and hard to come by it sometimes. But it was we would reset the news. So you would get this story about some busing dispute in Chicago. You'd get a story about what the results were from an overnight fire at a bakery, et cetera, et cetera, and then it would start all over again. So you would hear all about the busing dispute again, and then the fire at the bakery, and then something would happen. Oh, there was a bomb exploded in Cairo. That would then jump to the top. So when you reset, boom, that would jump to the top, and then you'd go through everything else again, and then it just move down the ladder. We don't do that anymore. And because the cycle moves so quickly and there's so many stories to cover throughout the day, people end up with half the information they used to, sometimes less. And sometimes things are just ignored for political reasons, for ideological reasons. That's bad. That's very bad. And one of the things I try to do is abolish that. I'm gonna go through 17 stories minimum per day in the 6 Minute Daily on Monday through Friday. On Saturday, I'll give you a little bit broader coverage on entertainment, a little longer show, and we'll talk about the news. Sometimes you guys have suggestions. I'm okay with that, but that's the plan, right? And I try to do it without a whole lot of hyperbole. And I'll cover things that I don't agree with. I'll tell you I don't agree with them. You don't see that so much anymore. So I appreciate y'all. Georgia Peach, good to see you. And I appreciate Griffin. Griffin gives us a wonderful history update that I think keeps us aligned with some perspective of something that happened in history this very same day. So thank you for that. I don't know how you keep track of it all, Griffin, but I got to assume you're using some kind of search. Wow, I yammered on forever there. Big H says, do you remember dang, now I forgot. Do you remember when we kissed? Sea of Love was an interesting song. Oh, no, wait. Is that Sea of Love? No, it's I want to tell you just how much I love you. Yeah. And that's okay. Hey, Carlos, what's up? Carlos Alfredo Lopez, a regular among regulars. Jan says, what are the things that drives me crazy now that they spend endless hours analyzing the tidbit of information and speculating? And by 5, it has proven to be a nothing burger. Well, and again, ideological coverage is equally as bad. You can speculate a lot of things. Trump is dead. No, he's not. No, he's not. And look, there's one thing for sure. That's not going to be covered so haphazardly, and it's not going to be hidden like you would expect from the previous administration. Lots of hidden stuff, including the guy being completely out of his mind. Um, Literally, not that he's crazy. He's just not there. Trump's not dead. That was dumb. The worst thing ever. It's a holiday weekend, and the guy played golf. They're dumb. It's just news media is dumb. And that's because they're selling ideological lessons. You know, when a mass event happens, like it did recently, do you know what they did? Once they found out the unfortunate truth, they tried to spin it. I mean, I guess that may be better than the way what they normally do, which is drop it and hide it. This time they thought they could get away with spinning it into the racist thing that they are. Everybody's good except for the white people. No, thanks. You know. You even had a news organization come out and apologize for misgendering. Give me a break. We got to stop pretending. Do you remember the 5th of November? Yes. By the way, I rewatched that movie lately. Padme was decent in it. I get it. And that's very kind. John the Beagle but Dad said something very kind in the chat. Let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. See, just a duchy. I can't imagine believing that Trump was dead. That's not a story you would hide. If you were the White House, if you were the current administration, that would be one of the worst losses that we would have right now. But the continuation of government would persist. Could you imagine who the vice president would be at that point? And the ticket that you would build? Everybody knows what's going to happen. And it's the freaking crazy people that are like, we need to redistrict now. Well, you know what? One team never really utilized that to any real large effect. But the other team took so much advantage of it that there really isn't a lot left they could do. I mean, it's a pretty bald-faced maneuver in about 5 states where we there's no representation for 45% of the population in government, which is ridiculous. And when you start to look at things and you're about to get a taste of your own medicine, you freak out. It's very interesting. But Trump disappears for 2 days and everyone loses their minds. Well, yeah, because everybody's used to him posting daily and being visually present. And by the way, signing bills and executive orders and proclamations in public at a desk with a big pen. So there's no doubt about who signed something. He did that's not the auto pen. And by the way, you can't auto pen a Supreme Court justice into existence, which I'm telling you right now, as these auto pen situations start to make it through and into the dockets, you're going to have massive problems. And legitimacy is then going to be called into question on a lot of various things. We've been sold a bill of goods for a long, long time. And many of us are hip to it. So we're not going to let that happen anymore. What else is happening? Well, Georgia Peach, you're correct. I mean, the current administration does scare the globalists, and that's a good thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to be ruled by a bunch of despots. I don't want actual fascism, which, by the way, isn't a right thing. It has always been a left thing. They've recently tried to push it into the left. Of course, they've recently tried to change a lot of history and been telling some very untrue untruths. And when you start to bring the truth to light, that's when they panic and they have no answers and they run away. Anyway, what else we got? We've got this from our friend Robert for $2. I need to have an emergency. What? An emergency glaucoma surgery? Oh, Robert, my prayers are with you, my friend. You need those eyes to be good. So I hope they're good. What are they going to do? They're going to pull some fluid out of your eyeball? Man, my friend, this is not good for somebody that has, the ambition that you do, my friend. I'll be praying for you. My goodness. I'm now up to 29 names on my prayer list. You just made the list, my friend. You are 29. My goodness, my friend. In fact, I've got like 3 people in this very chat that I pray for every night now. You'll be number 3. Goodness gracious, my friend. Prayers up. Prayers up. And we will man, I you know what? I know I've been joking around with you. Yeah, drainage tube. Yeah, that's what I suspected. Um man, that's a lot of vitreous fluid though. Um Goodness. Well, man, now normally I play with you on the idea of the review, but I'm going to give you that to you as a present very soon. Again, because I like to mess with you, but yeah. Anyway, all right. We gotta thank you for all the prayers in the chat for our friend Robert. Let's see. My father, Gerald Burke Kennedy. What did you say, Big H? Could you add my father to your prayer list? Of course I can. Recovering from a heart attack. My goodness, my friend. Okay, indeed, Big H. And I'm going to grab that name right now. Gerald Burke. Stop moving. The chats. You guys are doing a great job chatting out there. Let's try that again. Okay. Show. There we go. Gerald Burke, Kentucky. That's a cool last name. Oops, I hit the wrong buttons. Ah! Might accidentally shut the show off. All right. Where's my screen capture thing? What the heck? Stimpy, what the hell? All right. Mode. Windows snip. There we go. New. Done. Thank you. Okay, I got it. I got you. Wow. Sorry, guys. This is important to me. So some of you may not be religious, but it's okay. All right. So now I got 4 related to this chat. All right. Is that a liqueur? This is a coffee. I am not drinking. I'm not even having a glass of wine at night. So I got enough problems with my brain. Anyway. Oh, you bet, Big H. Like I said, you guys are, everybody here is a culturian, and you're part of the family. You're part of something bigger. I know that sounds like I'm a crazy person, but you are. You're a group of people who are willing to have conversations. And by the way, no longer around the fringes. We are the mainstream. We are the media. We are the people who are awake to the world around them, and we all understand that culture is a huge part of society and what drives it. And we're going to get back to a sane society, but it won't be easy. Never is easy. Yeah. Now, getting away from alcohol. By the way, that's something that's a trend, and it's not just beer and liquor sales. I mean, I brought you the news yesterday that, by the way, Morningstar took down that Constellation Brands, who actually in the states owns the distribution and distillation of Modelo and some beers that replaced Corona, beers that replaced Anheuser-Busch brand Bud Light after they imploded themselves. Um, it's not just beer that's tanking. Generations, current generations, are not imbibing booze as much. It's substantial. Something that I think I definitely mentioned that also during the pro show yesterday. It's a new thing, and it's a healthy thing. So um, I think it's a good thing. And again, it's hard for me not to have a glass or two of wine at night, especially with supper. But you know what? It's worth it. Our good friend Commander Ed Straker. That's right. Culture Casino, the song on Saturdays. All right. Weatherman says also I can see a Prez just signing things on his desk without knowing, but that signs of a bad president. Indeed, I think the auto pen is probably one of the most dangerous tools created because the only reason it was supposed to be utilized in the first place was for worthless things like underwater basket weaving day, stuff like that, not for anything of major consequence. So there's that. Robert says, for $2, left eye, if bad, whoa, F bad next meetup, I'll have an eye patch. My friend, again, you are in the prayers. So much appreciated to you. You need to have a more positive outlook, my friend. Please. Please. All right. I just want to say thanks again to everybody. Today's been a fun stream. I'm sending you all over to Midnight's Edge in the morning, which is about to start. We need to support the creators that support us, and I will support you. You will support me, and as we get close to um, 40,400, which may actually happen in the next couple of days, despite being only like 100 away from it or less. Maybe it's 10. I don't know. But we'll just have to see. Customization means click and send. That's what we're going to do with Midnight's Edge in the morning. If this will type Midnight's Midnight's Edge in the morning. Say hi to everybody over there. Tell them that Culture sent you. And as always, we'll see you tonight, probably on WDW Pro Live. I may actually go live later today, so keep your eyes open. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, my friends, see ya for real.